Hi, welcome back to the channel. I am Aquib, and in this video, we are going to take a look at how we can deploy a ReactJS application. The most important task after we finish creating or building our React project is to get a free public URL which we can share with everybody else. I actually struggled with this a lot initially, but now, thanks to platforms like Netlify, it has become very easy. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we can do this. All right, so I have Netlify open in my browser right here. The URL is www.netlify.com. The best way to actually use Netlify is in combination or integration with a GitHub repository. So how Netlify works is you can create an account with a standalone email and you can drag and drop files over here as well. But a better approach is to actually use a GitHub repository. That way, every time we push something to the repository or update something over there, it is going to automatically trigger a build and update the same thing on the URL as well. So we don't have to go back and redeploy things on Netlify. We only need to set this up once. And then every time we update our GitHub repositories, Netlify will automatically update the URL as well. So let us quickly go ahead and set up a new GitHub repository, upload our React project over here, and then connect it to Netlify and get the deployment done. So I'm just going to call this React menu project. I already built this project in another video. I link it in the description below. You can check that out as well. But I'm going to take that existing React project and then we are going to go ahead and try to deploy it. So that's a React menu project. I'm creating a public repository. You can create a private repository as well. It will not affect the process. It will still work fine. Now I'm going to upload an existing file. At this point, you can also connect to the CLI and you can follow those instructions as well. But to keep it simple here, I'm just going to drag everything and drop it except for the node modules folder. So we don't need to deploy or upload the node modules folder. Everything other than that, I have dragged it and dropped it over here. So this will take a minute. It will quickly upload everything and that will give us a valid GitHub repository. Then we are going to connect to Netlify. So first we'll sign up to Netlify and then connect to this particular repository as well. All right, this is done. Let us go ahead and commit changes. So this should update the content of our repository. Done. Now the next step is to go to Netlify and sign up. So let's click on the sign up button. As you can see, we have a direct option to sign up with GitHub. We also have a couple of other sign up options along with the traditional sign up with email. But since we have everything on GitHub, I'm going to click on that option, sign up with GitHub. Once we sign up for the very first time, it will ask us for a couple of questions. So you could answer those questionnaires or skip that as well. After that is done, we reach this screen where we can then go ahead and upload a new website. So what we have to do is we have to click on this button which says import from Git. So import an existing project, import from Git. Then deploy with GitHub. This will then take us to GitHub for an authorization and we need to explicitly authorize Netlify, as you can see, to do this. So we can say authorize Netlify. This is basically allowing Netlify access to our GitHub repositories. The next step is to choose which repositories do we want it to access. So I recommend you choose only select repositories and then from the drop down, just pick the one that you want. So I've just created this one, React menu project. That's the one that I have selected. So this means that I am only authorizing Netlify the access to one specific repository. Then it will ask you for your password and that brings us back to Netlify. As soon as we give Netlify access to our GitHub repositories or we authorize Netlify that access, the list of all the repositories that we have selected will show up over here. In my case, I only selected a single repository, but in case if you allowed access to all repositories or selected multiple repositories, all of them will show up over here. The next step is to click on the repository that we want to deploy. Once we click on this, Netlify is actually smart enough to figure out everything else. So it will take care of all the initial setup, it will take care of all the commands to run, etc. And we don't really have to change anything as such. We can directly go ahead and click on this deploy React menu project button. The only constraint here is to keep in mind that you upload folders or files directly into the repository. So don't create a setup where you have a repository and then inside that you have another front end folder and then within that you have the code. That will lead you to problems and then you'll have to change some advanced settings. So what I recommend is you keep things simple, directly upload everything within the repository itself without having a complicated or a nested folder structure. Once this is done, Netlify will automatically start building the project. I can click on this to see the detailed log as well. Now we can of course read these messages one by one and wait for the entire deployment to happen. But at the same time, what Netlify also does is it gives us a fancy game to play while we wait. So if you check this right panel out, it says fancy a game while you wait. We can click on the play game button. This is a match the pairs kind of a thing. Again, we can try to find two cards that look the same and just try to play it in the meanwhile. Anyhow, our deployment is now done. So let me end this game. Now, as soon as we close that off, there are two different links that we can get. The first one you can see is a direct button, which is open deploy. There's also this button called permalink. This is what we are looking at. So we can actually copy this link or open this one up. Now Safari is going to give me an issue here. So I'm going to actually open this up in Chrome. So let me just pull that up quickly. And as soon as I open that link up now, you can see our React application is working fine, right? So our filters are working fine. And again, this is the project that we had created. I'll attach the link to this at the top and I'll also put it in the description box as well. You can check that out if you want to. But more importantly, we have now received a working link, as you can see, and this is the permalink. We can also get the production deploy. So this is also another URL which does the same thing for us, right? You can see it also opens up the same thing. So either way, you can go ahead and use any of these two links to share with people. And that's it. This is how we can get a working URL with Netlify in just a few minutes. If you found this video useful, do like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content on programming and web development. Do let me know in the chat what is the next technology or project that you want me to discuss. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one.